Check, check. We have some roster moves to discuss that have been triggered by Ricky Pearsall's recent status. If you missed it, Ricky Pearsall has been placed on the reserve non football injury list due to the wounds that he sustained from the attempted armed robbery that happened in San Francisco over the weekend. So, obviously, many of us have just kind of been updating our phones, waiting to see what the current statuses were throughout the weekend. And thankfully, after the initial kind of devastating news, we've gotten nothing but positive reports ever since. And even this one, to me, is positive. The fact that Ricky Pearsall has the opportunity to come back after 4 games from the reserved non-football injury list is huge. That the fact that Ricky Pearsall is alive, that's huge. Number two, the fact that Ricky Pearsall will play football again, that's huge. The fact that Ricky Pearsall can play football maybe in a month from now is also huge. So we are kind of going to be looking at that week 5 for a potential return. But as a result of him being placed on this list, it has opened up a roster spot. Not only that, we had an additional move that happened, a couple moves that happened earlier today. So let's get into the move that triggered based on Ricky being placed on this list. So the 49ers have signed offensive lineman Brandon Parker to a 1-year deal in the roster spot that was opened up due to Ricky. Honestly, kind of surprised that it was Brandon Parker. I thought Chris Hubbard had a better training camp and a better preseason than Brandon Parker. Obviously, it makes sense with the San Francisco 49ers adding a tackle, as right now Jalen Moore is really the only backup tackle that is currently on the roster, with Trent Williams continuing his holdout. And per the reports that we've heard about Trent Williams, is that it sounds like he could hold out into the season. So as a result of that, the 49ers make a depth move at tackle. And from that logic, it makes sense. You don't have any backup tackles after Jalen Moore and Colton McKivitz that are currently on the roster. Obviously, Dominic Pooney has played tackle in college, has never done so in the NFL. Spencer Burford has played tackle in college, hasn't done so in the NFL. So, again, it makes sense that they were able to add this depth specifically at this position with everything that's been going on. And then on top of that, you also had another move where that kind of was an adjustment based on what happened when the 49ers cut the final 53. So after initially making the final 53, defensive end Sam Okiwanu has been signed to the practice squad. As a result, the 49ers released offensive lineman Sebastian Gutierrez. He was more of kind of interior offensive line guy, definitely on the back end of the roster, but they did bring back Sam. I thought he showed promise throughout training camp and ultimately landed him on the active roster. But as we know, the 49ers had to do some juggling with the roster. So they had to shift some guys to IR, make some moves. So he was subsequently waived, but he cleared waivers and will now be back onto the practice squad. So those are the current roster moves that have gone down today that have aligned with some of the things that have been going on with Ricky Pearsall. Obviously, it feels like the Brandon Parker signing is in relation to Trent Williams' holdout. So, you know, a lot of things going on, obviously, with the San Francisco 49ers right now. But as it stands, all things considered, considering the circumstances, not bad news. Not bad news. Obviously, the final Infinity Stone is getting Trent Williams signed, but I'm pretty content currently with the news that has come out about Ricky Pearsall and getting Brandon Ayuk paid and all of those things taken care of. So as it currently stands, I'm okay with where we're at. If Trent Williams misses games this season, that will be something that we have to deal with when it happens. I've mentioned on the previous video, I'm more of the mindset that we still got pretty much this whole week to determine what's going to happen with Trent Williams. I really do believe that he could be signed all the way up until Sunday, and then play in that Monday game. Obviously, you want to get Trent Williams in practice. You want to get Trent Williams kind of in the mix, start to build up that callus. Obviously, that would be the hope at least. But if he also doesn't do that, it's not the end of the world in regards to expected performance for him. The only thing that you really are concerned about at that time is probably potential injury. But nothing, no earth shattering moves. We already did the whole video on Ricky. Um, so I wanted to bring you guys the rest of the kind of corresponding moves that have happened as a result. Let me know what you guys think about this. Are you starting to get concerned about the Trent Williams thing, or have you already been concerned and it's just reaching new heights? Let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.